It's time for a deep dive.
What are we
20
doing
years
David
since it
Cronenberg.
was, that Crash won Best Picture. That's what we're looking at today. Well, Todd,
He is the expert of
this
Crash.
was your idea
Yeah.
to take advantage of this while Zach was out of town. Tell us all about Crash and your thoughts.
The most Zach movie ever made. You got to see it.
Most Zach movie ever made.
Shut up, Todd.
I mean, Crash is an interesting movie. It was a Toronto movie, 2004, right? And then it came out in like spring 2005, and that was a movie that was like, for some reason, it was on my radar when I was in high school, and like we almost went to see this in high school. Like we left school early to go to the movies, and this was one of the movies that was in the running along with Kicking and Screaming and Unleashed with Jet Li.
May 6th, 2005.
You're the juice box guy. Juice box guy. Kicking and Screaming. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Nothing screams the start of the summer blockbuster season like Crash. May 6th, man.
Well, I mean, it was a similar thing to like The Hurt Locker, what it did. I mean, it's just interesting that this was a festival movie. It doesn't feel like that either. It feels like a big studio Hollywood movie, but it was an indie movie, and it was this new director, Paul Haggis, the writer of $1 Million Baby. And it's like most people, I saw it on DVD sometime in late 2005. Like this movie won Best Picture because it had like the biggest DVD campaign of all time, and everybody owned this thing, and because everybody has an actor they like in it, everybody can relate to it in some ways, and it's like back then everyone loved it. It was pretty much everyone's number one of the year that I knew, because I mean Ebert loved it. It won Best Picture, and everything. To me, it kind of faded in my memory overall, not for the reasons most people would. But now watching it again, I realized how much I'd seen this, because I remembered so much of this watching it back. There were scenes I remembered almost quoting it in my head, which I didn't realize I had watched it that much. But it must have been one of those movies that was on TV a lot, that you could pretty much catch it anytime, similar to Pulp Fiction in that way or something, where you could sit and watch a section of it and you would have no problem getting right back into it, because the whole thing, the interlocking story, weaves so well together. It obviously has a very complicated history. Its Best Picture win is super controversial. I still like this movie quite a bit. I mean, I was still thoroughly entertained by it. I still think it has emotional power. I have a number 3 on the MDI between The House That Jack Built and There's Something About Mary. Paul Haggis is an interesting filmmaker. This to be his first film is interesting. It's got a huge cast, and he somehow got them all together to be in this like kind of indulgent thing based on like an experience he had like 20 years earlier or something. And I think it works. I still don't see where the controversy really rises from this. I mean, it like we talked about in several movies, like in there, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Just because there's a racist in it doesn't mean it's a racist movie. That's kind of the way I feel about this. Just like every character is kind of unlikable, but they also kind of like you see where they're coming from, and it treats everybody pretty much the same, and I kind of like that. So, yeah, I'm still at like 3.5 stars or something for this movie. 20 years later, which is a movie that I had not seen any of in at least 10.
So just to give a little context, one of the reasons we keep referencing Zach not being here is Zach in 2005 gave this movie 4 stars. And then after a rewatch, probably 15 years later, he changed his rating to 0 stars.
Goose egg.
Yeah. So, Adam, what are your thoughts on this one?
All right. So I watched this today, and as our review for
when did you watch it for the first time?
It's got to be about 15 years ago.
Okay.
10 years ago. Probably when I became on the podcast, when I first started on the podcast. I would just say that's a good starting point. About what it's been what it's now, like 12 years or something like that, probably. Something like that. I don't know.
Well, the podcast isn't that old. The website is.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like when we all became friends. So yeah, no, it's about 12 years ago because I was started there and met Todd. Yeah, so it's probably around that time. Anyway, so it's been a good while. It's at 4 stars on the website. Number 2, right behind Earthlings, and what is that? It's Bang Bang or 40-Year-Old Virgin or something like that. One of those two movies. Um, it's an interesting film. Glaring omission on for my part is I haven't seen Brokeback Mountain. That's a huge miss opportunity. So that's something I'm watching this year for the first time, and I got to do a daily notes on that one. I think it's a given at this point.
Wow.
So obviously I haven't seen that one, and there's no really comparison like what the controversy is. I've heard great things about Brokeback Mountain. Love the 2 actors in that movie, so why haven't I watched it? Watching it today, Crash. I'm not as high on a 4-star rating. Like I said on the crossing over, there's some really great comparisons with those 2 movies. It's kind of the same movie, but about different topics. Like it's kind of the same. Like I think Crash has a little bit more maybe polish to it. It feels like it has a studio backing of some kind as well. I think there's some polish to crossing over. It has some like good performances in it. There's some really good performances in this one. There's some really iconic sequences. Michael Peña, like you're the poster boy for this movie because of that, how powerful that one sequence is. And for me, the Crash, it's not necessarily an entertaining movie, but I'm kind of puzzled why this is a deep dive. But at the same time, I understand why it's a deep dive as well. Like it was tough to come up with questions because I don't feel like this movie has a great trivia background, but it has a lot of interesting like different characters in there, so I can understand why there's going to be some good conversation there. It's a solid movie, but it definitely feels like we said heavy handed, and I feel like sometimes rings really true here. But at the same time, every character has a certain distinguish with their journey in their time or their culture that would make them feel a certain way, so you could kind of understand where their people are coming from too. So it's going to be an interesting conversation for this deep dive. But I'm probably more leaning at like if I'm going giving Crossing Over 3.5, I'm not dropping Crash down like to 0 stars by any means. I'm probably in that 3.5 to lower 4 stars. It's probably not going to be necessarily. It's still probably be my top 10 because I think 2005 is relatively weak with one of the big glaring omissions to the best director winner and Brokeback Mountain not being seen. But 2005, not my strongest top 10 list if you looked at my Almost Sideways website list, but there's definitely some fan favorites in that list though.
So I watched this probably around the same time Todd did for the first time, and I loved it. I thought
we probably watched it together.
We might have watched it together, yeah.
Downstairs.
See, well, I remember the first time I'd really heard about this movie, someone showed a clip of it in one of my college classes. And that was the first I'd heard of it. And so I'm trying to think of when that would have been. But
you would have seen it before the Oscars.
Yeah, probably. The infamous Oscars I watched in Hawaii.
Like I'm saying, everybody saw this on DVD. Like, I mean, it made a reasonable amount, like almost $100 million. It was like a rising, like out of nowhere hit, but like everybody had the DVD, and that's how they saw it.
Yeah, the Oscars would have been like first week of March that year because that's when I was in Hawaii. And yeah, I loved it. I've got Brokeback number 1, and I've got Crash number 2. And it was one of those things where I was like pleasantly surprised that Crash won. Brokeback was my number 1, but it wasn't like I was gonna be like, oh, how did Brokeback lose? Like the fact they gave it to Crash, I think is kind of cool. It felt fresh. It felt like it was finding the elephant in the room and shooting it, right? And in how heavy-handed it was, it felt like a welcome breath of fresh air of looking at these stereotypes and how almost every character is a good person, but also is part of the stereotype, right? They're a good person, but they also do bad things. I can't remember the last time I'd watched it before this week. It's been a long time.
Yeah, same.
Watching it this week, man, it's complicated. I understand I'll say this. I understand exactly why Zach did what he did. I don't think this movie ages particularly well. I think the way it approaches the subject, it worked for 2005. It doesn't work for 2025. I think too many of the topics that it addressed as being kind of taboo topics at the time of racial stereotypes, systemic racism, and just kind of shooting the elephant in the room and addressing it in a post Black Lives Matter and post Me Too and everything else that's happened, and also with the current president and the rhetoric that he promotes of not being afraid to give racist rhetoric or victimize and villainize different racial groups. I think this isn't fresh anymore. I see this as being something that that right-wing conservatives look at and say, look, see, this is why we elected Donald Trump. And that's why Zach hates this movie, because it can look like a right-wing propaganda ploy in current day. I think I remember 2005 and I remember how powerful it was. And I still see the power in it. But there's no way that this story, the way it is told, has that power today. It just doesn't, because the elephants in the room that it was shooting and the freshness it had, it's not fresh anymore. Like the scene with Lawrence Tate and Ryan Phillippe, and the scene with, like, that's not fresh anymore after Trayvon Martin. The scenes with Thandiwe Newton and Matt Dillon, those aren't like edgy anymore when we see that stuff in the news constantly. Our culture has moved in a way where this topic is viewed differently, it's seen differently, it's talked about differently. I think there's a version of this movie you can make today, but it can't be told the same way it was told in 2005. That's what makes this a complicated movie. Nothing takes away from the power it had 20 years ago, but I don't know if I've ever seen a movie age so poorly that quite like this one has. Like, you can go back and you can look at, like, the old MGM musicals, and you can see the people in blackface, right? That's one thing, but that's not the point of the movie. That's different, right? You can look at Green Book, right? That's another one that a lot of people say, but that was like an in the moment. How the hell are we giving Green Book Best Picture? That's something different. That's something that they said, this doesn't age well in the present with the people that didn't like that one. This one is one where, like you said, Todd, everybody saw it in 2005. Everybody loved it in 2005 because it did something different, did something new, and it talked about something in a way that I don't think you talked about before. But in 2025,
so normal now.
All those fresh topics, the way it addresses them, are stale and kind of really insensitive, and in a lot of ways. Like I said, there's a way to make this movie. I don't know how, but there is a way to make this movie in 2025, because the messages in it that rang so true in 2005, honestly, I think are more important now than they were in 2005, because of how divided we are and how racially divided we are, and how everyone needs to realize we're all kind of in the same place. We're just told by all the people that we listen to, all the pundits, all the media and everything, that we're supposed to disagree, when we don't, in a lot of different ways. And I feel like that's the message Crash is trying to give. We're all flawed people. We all have bad parts, but we're all good people too. And that's the message I think we need to hear today. Crash is no longer the way to do it. In 2005, it was. I don't think it is anymore, though.
Yeah.
So is it still my number 2 of 2005? I don't know. I didn't look that closely at my 2005 list. It's tough because, like I said, it had that power in 2005, and it was a masterpiece in 2005. It doesn't have that power today. But do I downgrade it for not having the power anymore, for it aging poorly? Or do I go and say, no, in 2005, this is how I looked at it, and it was great. So that's my complicated feelings on Crash right now.
I think we're all having that right now too at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, but for me, I don't have a problem with movies that you say don't age well necessarily, because you can't take away from what it was when it came out. I mean, there that happens all the time, where it's like, oh, this movie got like universal praise back when it came out, and now it doesn't really play the same way. I don't think that should impact its legacy.
And I agree with you totally. There's a problem when you see a movie like this and say, you know what's a culturally relevant movie on race today? Crash, and you should watch that. No one's saying that, and no one's going to say that, because it's not relevant in any way today, the way it tells the story.
I mean, but it's about LA. This is I don't think it's that far off. I mean, like we were talking with Crossing Over, we have the same problems. The same problems have existed for 30 years. And I don't know, Crash, it was it's something
years,
that
150 years, 200 years, 250 years.
Of course. But I think that in the age of social media, this kind of movie would never have had the life, even if we would rewind to 2005 and had social media. I don't think it would have won Best Picture. I don't know. You can't revisionist history that way necessarily. I think the movie still plays, if you don't get caught up in the politics of it. I think that the movie still is just as gripping as it was in 2005. I don't think it's as smart as I thought it was when I was in high school. Like that's part of the thing.
Yeah.
Still, winning Best Picture is strange for a movie like this, because it doesn't feel like any other Best Picture winner. That was kind of the era of that, though. Mm-hmm. This was the first Best Picture winner, I think, that had like more than 5 F-bombs in it, and it was this interlocking story, independent movie by a new director, mm-hmm. with everybody in Hollywood in it.
Yeah, I think you brought up an interesting point with the social media thing. This would not have the legs that it had in nowadays if it came out, because you have people review bombing like Superman, okay, like because it's not Henry Cavill, like an Ironheart, that MCU show or whatever. They're just review bombing it just to hate on it because they have the power to do so now. It's something that it definitely would have been review bombed way back then, because it's a cool thing to do. At the same time, as there is something to say about like the time it came out, like the time everything in that time or that era, can't take that away. So is it?
I don't think Green Book is in the same category. Green Book was an uplifting feel good movie, and that's why it connected with people. It wasn't something like this that was such a visceral experience that you saw yourself in the movie and you felt like you had experiences like the movie. It wasn't like that. Like Green Book was a completely different category, and even though people were trying to tear it down, it's like people still like freaking love that movie.
The comparison I was making with Green Book is how Green Book, the detractors from Green Book were saying it was culturally insensitive, and
the minority is very vocal. That's true.
But what my point was, how I said they're different, because I think the Green Book was being called that in the moment, where Crash was not being called that by anybody in the moment.
But I'm saying if we had social media, it would have had that kind of reaction from that corner of the internet.
I don't know if it, well, I mean, when you get into the internet, anything's game. I mean, everything is crapped on some level on the internet. I agree with what you said, that it's not as smart as I thought it was then. One of the other things that you say is, if you take the politics out of it, it's still a good movie. The problem is, this movie is our politics today. Like you can't get away from our politics today. We have a president that has made race our politics today, for better or worse. And maybe that's coming off of the fact that he was president immediately after our first black president. Race has become politics. And so you can't pull them apart. This is our politics. And I think that's the murky part, is and how you can't look at it, you can't judge it the same lens nowadays as you did before. Who would Nicolas Cage play? There's a version where he plays Officer Ryan, where he is Matt Dillon.
Yeah, that is true.
I think he could also. Oh, go ahead.
He could play the Don Cheadle role. I think there's like I don't think that character's race really matters.
I would say the only way I would say it does is because of his, well, and the relation to the Lawrence Tate character, like the whole fact that they're brothers doesn't play if you mess with the race there. I think Matt Dillon. The other one I think is the William Fichtner role. That could easily like Cage could do that in his sleep.
What about the Tony Danza role?
Well, Tony Danza role, obviously. That would himself.
I think he could also no. I was thinking Brendan Fraser too, but no, I think Armie Hammer. Now that I got that in my head, that's pretty good. Yeah,
right. Like once I saw that name, I was like, oh, that's it. Damn it, that's it. Highest war performance. I'm gonna go first on this one. So I kept on looking at the whole cast and like, who could I recast? And the one I really struggled to try and find someone that would fit the same is Terrence Howard. I think he's got such an interesting, like, just demeanor to him, the way he can carry himself and have that dignity that he just brings to the screen and can bring to the screen. What's funny is this is the same year as Hustle and Flow, which is like the exact opposite type of character, but he can embody that so well that he was my highest war, because I couldn't find an actor that quite does the same thing he does.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Adam, how about you?
Ooh, okay. I had 3 written down. That was not one of them. I'll go with Michael Peña. I think that guy could have been a throwaway. It could have been should have become something character, but I think he became something. That scene with him and his daughter, like in the getting the daughter thinking they got shot. Honestly, like his performance was. And that scene was awesome. So yeah, Michael Peña, probably a high war there for that era.
That is the correct answer.
Yeah, Michael Peña.
It couldn't have been Hector. It had to be Michael Peña.
Couldn't have been Hector.
Michael Peña is fantastic in that. I'll go with Ludacris. Ludacris is Luda's got the flow, and when he says things, he says them in a way that makes you pay attention. And yeah, I mean, there's only one Ludacris, and I think this is his best acting that he's done.
Worst performance, Bill Paxton Memorial. Worst performance. I'll go first because mine's Ludacris. I don't know. Maybe it's just I found by like 30 seconds in, I found his character annoying this time through, of just how he just has to complain about everything, and I don't know. I didn't like his character. Maybe that was more it. But in a cast where everyone like pretty much gives quality performances, I'll go with the character that annoyed me the most. So
I was gonna say, if you talk about people that annoyed you because they're just like complaining about everything, like how is that not Taub? like yeah, he's the one person in the movie that isn't racist. He's just an asshole to everybody, and
well, but that's more the shop owner. That's the frustration with the language gap and the language barrier. I feel Farhad is his name.
Yeah, Farhad. Yeah, the dad.
Yeah. All right.
Sandra Bullock.
Adam.
That's what I said.
Sandra. Yeah, that's not a bad one. Also.
Yeah, the old slip with the socks. Slip down the stairs with the socks. Yeah.
4 years later, she's an Oscar winner. So there's that, and a Razzie winner in the same year.
And almost a Peña nominated actress for worst performance too.
Mm-hmm. Todd, are you saying you're going Farhad? or no?
No, I know. I was
Okay.
just saying it. Your rationale didn't make a whole
Yeah,
lot of
okay.
sense. It's tough because I mean, like Thandie Newton is like really overdoing it. I don't know if she's really bad. She's just like going way overboard. I'm going
High war.
Lawrence Tate.
Oh,
'Cause-
come, Lawrence Tate, really?
Well,
Wow.
because and I remember at the time I had no idea who he was. He was like the only person in the cast I'd never seen before because I had never seen like the like hood movies he did in the '90s and stuff. But I just still I think he's so weird in this. I don't really get his character, and I think it's because of how he plays it.
Minor character triumvirate. Adam, this is Amazing Larry, Big Tim, High Roller, Charlie, Duke, Ticket Taker, Movie Maker, and the Matt Damon. What movie are you in?
The movie maker's Dory, the Farhad's daughter, because that sequence, if she doesn't buy the blanks, that daughter's dead. Michael Peña has a gunshot wound to his left shoulder.
Does she know she bought blanks?
She does. She reads English. She clearly said that the dad does not read English in the insurance.
Yeah, but she doesn't know what she's doing, though. Like, she just says, give me the red box. Like, all of them fit.
But it clearly
what do you
says
want?
blanks. I think she's an educated woman that definitely knows what she was doing. She doesn't want her dad to get a gun. She says that. She's like, I don't.
No,
Like, why do you have a gun?
But she's so concerned later about the gun. Like when they get broke. When they broke into the store, like she's like,
Yeah.
oh no, did they get the gun? Did they get the gun? It's like I don't understand why she's that concerned about the gun. Like the store just got robbed. Like what does the gun have to do with anything?
Name, so
she wants a gun that's going to protect him because he's such an asshole to everybody. That's the point of getting the gun. But I don't understand why she's that particular about it. But yeah, she buys blanks because she is dumb and she shouldn't be buying a gun.
Well,
that was one I had down too. I had a couple down for that one, but all right. What about the rest? Amazing Larry, Big Tim, High Roller, minor character of the movie.
William Finchner is interesting as his little character. Like, where the hell is Flanagan? Where's Flanagan? And he just shows up for that one sequence. Oh, of course, it's that guy. Yeah, I think shout out to the Red and Brown podcast way back when. I think we had like a conversation about like how William Finchner is like amazing. And shout out to you guys' like deep dive of Longest Yard. I think it's funny that we've done a couple deep dives this year. Longest Yard, Mission Impossible 2, with multiple actors doubled up now. We have 2 William Finchner movies, 2 Thandie Newton movies this year. And I've been on 2 of those Thandie Newton deep dives in particular. So there we go.
That's why I didn't. That's why I didn't recast Thandie Newton, because it would still be Zoe Saldana.
You're not wrong there. It's not bad. Yeah, I guess I'll go with Flanagan. Not a great choice, but at the same time, it's a minor character that definitely shows up for that one sequence there.
All right, Matt Damon, what movie are you in?
Sandra Bullock's trying way too hard. Like, she's not good in this one. Like, she has that Reese Witherspoon personality about her, and that's why I think it's a bad choice that I recasted Reese Witherspoon for it. But she just seems like in a different movie, and then she slips down the stairs and it becomes something completely different. It's like, oh, the one person that cared about me was my housekeeper who I was talking trash about, but not unloading the dishwasher this entire time. Yeah, I think she's in a different movie. I think a lot of people are in different movies in this movie, so it's really hard to have a wrong answer here.
It feels like there's a lot of different settings that are all all feel a little different. Todd, go for it. Triumvirate.
Well, my Big Tim role goes to Big Tim. He's in the movie.
Hey, Hollywood Walk of Fame. Good job, Keith David.
I think Keith David his scene is pretty awesome. Like he pretty much just like telling the kid how it is. Like you can't there's no other way you could do this without like completely derailing your own career.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good character. Matt Damon, what movie are you in? I kind of want to say Brendan Fraser because his character, his flare-ups are strange, and his just everything he does is just is a little off for the scene, and especially that one scene where he's like, oh, I gotta put a medal on a black guy, and then he realizes that the black guy that he was thinking of was an Iraqi named Saddam, and then he's like, give yourself a raise to his assistant, like as if it was his idea, but it wasn't. It was his own idea. So I'm like, why is he criticizing his assistant for correcting him? I don't. I mean, it's just like he went off script and it didn't work. But I mean, it's Brendan Fraser. He's okay, but I don't know. I think he's in his he's kind of in his own world. Minor character caused the movie to happen. I wrote Kim Lee, who is the lady who crashes into Don Cheadle so he can have his monologue to start the movie.
That's a good call.
That's perfect. That is the way. That is the right answer for this. All right. So Amazing Larry, Big Tim, High Roller. I had William Fichtner down, but I also had down Daniel Day Kim, because this is the first time watching this movie where I noticed it was him.
What did you do?
He had that one little snapshot where you see him like exchanging money or something with a guy, but I never knew he was the guy under the car. Like, I never realized that was him, and he's completely unrecognizable because of his injuries the rest of the movie.
Wait, that's just the guy under the car?
So who is he?
That's Daniel Day Kim.
I thought it was the other. I'm like, why was Daniel Day Kim just in for that one sequence where he didn't say a single word?
Because he's the guy that gets hit, that's under the car, that's trafficking the people.
I don't know who that guy is.
From Lost.
He was in Lost. He was in Hawaii Five-0 with Scott Conn.
Yeah.
He's been in stuff. He's one of those faces that I just know.
Right when I saw him, I was like, oh, it's the guy from Lost. We just binged that series like a couple years, like a year and a half ago or something like that. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
So when I saw him, like, oh, what? Why? What? It didn't make any sense. So he's on there. My Charlie Do Taker movie maker. I had the daughter that bought the blanks also, but I also had St. Christopher.
That's not bad.
And then my Matt Damon, what movie are you in? I have Michael Peña down. And the reason I have Michael Peña down, and I remember thinking this 20 years ago when I first watched it, this is a movie where every character at the same time both shows that they are their stereotype and are opposite their stereotype at different times, except for Michael Peña. That Michael Peña is the only character that doesn't have a dark side, which means he doesn't belong in this movie.
Good call. I wrote that down too. He did. I mean, he's the only one that. He's subtle.
Mm-hmm. Like every character,
he doesn't escalate.
Every other character, like, either is a good person that has to show at some point that they're an asshole, or they start by being an asshole and have a redemption arc later. Except for Michael Peña, he never has that other side to him. Mm-hmm. He's the only like perfect character. Mm-hmm. Like, and not like perfect. Yeah. Well, yeah. He just wants to take a piss, man.
I'll be great. You gonna sit there and watch me?
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Sacramento Kings. What movie are you in?
L.A. Kings, man, hockey.
But they were in Sacramento. That's the LA. No, it's the Sacramento Kings. No, that's the basketball team. I'm an idiot. Okay, never mind. LA Kings. You're right.
I agree.
I thought it was. Yeah, never mind.
Todd, Tripod of Depravity.
Stickman. I mean, there's two of them. I will say Terrence Howard, because I mean he was getting roadhead. That's pretty impressive.
Fellatio, they called it. Yeah, fellatio.
Yes. Biggest douchebag. Fred is the Tony Danza character. That's the douchebag. I think him more than, I mean, other ones you could say are bad people, but I think douchebag is the only way to describe the Tony Danza character. Mm-hmm. Punchable face. I mean, Officer Hansen, which is Ryan Phillippe, he's got a pretty punchable face. Probably mostly just his face, but I'll go with that.
It's funny. That's kind of what I said about Matt Dillon. He just has a punchable face.
Yeah.
That's mine. My stick man is Conklin. You only see him for a second, but the way he's kind of standing there with his luscious flowing locks, you know he's got to be a stick man. He's also a douchebag. My Nicky Cat Memorial douchebag is everyone except Michael Peña. But Tony Danza, that's the right answer. That's what I had down to.
I got Don Cheadle because he's banging like Mexicans, white people. I don't know, anything to piss off his mom. Essentially, Don Cheadle douchebag. I had Matt Dillon down, But yeah, I think anybody in this movie other than Michael Peña is the right answer here. And punchable face, Moffat. Ludacris wanted to punch him.
Morat.
I said Moffat. It's Moffat. I don't know.
I'm surprised we didn't get a line from Ludacris saying how he needs to go on a diet because he needs less fat. That would have been bad. Best scene. Thank you. My best scene. The scene that gets me every time. It is the car ride with Ryan Phillippe and Lawrence Tate. Like that scene, just like I'm trying to connect with you. They're both trying to connect with each other, but are realizing that they can't, even though they are very similar, but they are having like, and then it ends the way it does just because it escalates in the wrong way. That it's just that heartbreaking scene that I think is one that truly shows like what the movie can be.
The whole like that sequence, right when I was coming up, he was like, Farhad was sitting outside the house with the gun. I was like, oh god, here it comes! Like this is the scene. And I honestly, because I've only seen it like I said, like the 2 times before this. Like I thought it was actually real bullets, and I forgot it was blank. So I thought the daughter actually died, and then she didn't. It's such an emotional scene, and like Michael Peña plays that freaking to a T. Like that, it's good stuff there. So heartbreaking stuff. And she's like, Dad, I got your paper cloak. It's going to be okay. I protect you, Dad. Oh, breaks your heart. As a father of 2 daughters, that's the love I want my kids to have. Like that's awesome. Like, that's great stuff. Great scene.
It's a good one. Todd.
Yeah. I mean, I would have gone with the one where he tells her about the cloak and the monster in the bed and that whole thing. Like that's just a really sweet scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Matt Dillon and Shaniqua, like actually at her in her office. Like that scene is like writing an edge that I think that the rest of the movie doesn't really do. It's because Matt Dillon is so in control of his character. But that is just that's a fantastic scene, and that's the first time that you really get to see like Matt Dillon like break his like exterior, and you honestly don't know what's going to happen because I mean she calls security and then she's like also like holding up a finger like hold on let me hear him out, but then you know that it's not going to end well, but you don't know how it's going to end. That is just an expertly written scene.
Yeah,
I feel like that her reaction to that is what gave that scene credibility too, and kind of gave the movie credibility too, in the fact that it wasn't her reaction or wasn't okay, you may be this horrible person, but you know how to tug at a heartstring. But it was your father sounds like a great man, and if he were here, I might have said yes, but he's not. You are instead, so I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Like she was fully justified in saying that, and the movie gets credit for going there and doing what probably would have been done instead of doing the Hollywood thing and trying to give the happy ending to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think that too is proof why Matt Dillon could be a high war. That one scene. I think Matt Dillon's really good. Understated in this one. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Oh, I always forget. Least interesting character. Does anybody have a least interesting character?
Yeah, I didn't need Karen Bullock. I didn't need it. Very uninteresting.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually wrote down a note here. Is this movie the origin of the term Karen? Because the first time we see Sandra Bullock, she's talking about how Karen always calls her husband. And is Karen calling you? And she's just going to call you again. And it's like, she is I remember we did movie Karens. I don't know if Sandra Bullock from Crash made anyone's list, but she is the definition of a Karen. And the first words out of her mouth are complaining about a woman named Karen. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie is where the term Karen came from.
Well, my friend, I called Carol, and I've been a friend with her for 10 years, and she had a massage. I was like, well, Carol's a bitch.
That's a great response. Todd, did
My
you have one?
least interesting character is Dory, which is the daughter of Farhad.
Yeah, they don't give her much to do.
She doesn't really need to be there. I mean, it's interesting enough seeing Farhad go through his things. I don't think you need the daughter there.
Well, the daughter's the only reason he's gotten to where he is because she speaks English.
Well, I mean, he speaks English too. He understands enough of it to run his business.
He can't read it though,
and he understands enough of it to get himself into trouble. Like if she was there when Michael Peña came to fix the lock, it wouldn't have gone the way it went.
Fix my door. Fix the lock. You cheat.
All right. Flaws, conspiracy theories. We've already talked about outdated, or just any other general observations
Scenes
about the movie
we wished we saw.
Oh, scene we wished we saw. Yeah, scene we missed. I forgot about that one.
I want to see Michael Peña. You know how I got these tattoos? Instead of see how I got this smile or these scars. Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Scene I wished I saw. I wrote down two. I wrote some of the awards show that they were at before the Roadhead.
That's a good call.
Because I mean, at that point, you don't really know who he is or what he does. Like he's a TV director, I guess. So I don't know what was he at the Emmys, and because that'd be a pretty big deal. He kind of is a celebrity. I don't know. It would have established something probably before we are supposed to know something, so maybe that wouldn't have worked. And then the hearing. I want to see the hearing at the police station about the flatulence. Like who's he reporting this to? Like, does he have to go into like a big room and like talk to the board about being removed from his partner because he farts? I think.
Did he have to? That he who smelt it dealt it.
I just feel like that would be a really strange scene. It seems like more of a deleted scene, but I would watch it.
That's not bad. That would have been an awkward comic relief in a movie that doesn't really want to give you the comic relief. Yeah. All right. All right. General observations. Anything else that you wanted to say about the movie? I've got one thing. So in Brendan Fraser and Sandra Bullock's house, there's this one scene that takes place in front of this weird painting. Did you guys see this?
The naked portrait?
The naked lady, yeah. That's like done in like it's like done in like
abstract
Van Gogh. Yeah, like it's weird. I just wrote in my notes, what the hell was that painting?
What the boob? Yeah.
Yeah, with naked girl means yes, it's the one with the boob. Normally there's two of them.
That is a great poll.
I have some lines I wanted to say that we haven't mentioned yet. I wrote down, "Give yourself a raise, will you?" The ludicrous line, "You expect me to pay for that kind of service?" I thought that's a good line. And then the chop shop guy, "Do I look like I want to be on the Discovery Channel?" That underrated line of the movie is that one right there. Underrated character of the movie is that guy.
Yeah, you know that character almost immediately from the first time you see him. You're just like, you know everything about that guy.
Exactly. He's the only character in the movie. He's the only character in the movie that as soon as he walks on screen, you know everything about that guy. He's the only one that slips into a stereotype, and that's all he is.
Yeah.
And he wants to sell those people.
Yeah. My flaws and other stuff. They keep saying that the guy's stuck under the truck. It was clearly an SUV. It's not a truck. I was just like, why do you keep saying truck? Whatever. And Ludacris, he has one speech where he's just talking out of his ass, and it is so much like Earl Montgomery in National Security. I mean,
yes,
about talking about the bus and how it's like there to like exploit the people on the bus. It's just like and then like, you know, Earl's like, you know, it's to further subjugate the black man. And then it's just like, do you actually believe the crap that comes out of your mouth? And he's like, I'm never sure
I
until
don't
I'm finished
know.
talking.
Till I'm done talking.
And I feel like that could have been ludicrous. Like they almost based that character's like whole being on national security, and that's my conspiracy.
So are you saying in an alternate universe, the Ludacris and Lawrence Tate are played by Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, a la Bad Boys?
Yeah, I could go with
Not
that.
bad. It's
Like
not
if this
bad.
was done in like 95 instead of 05.
Yeah.
That's who plays those two characters.
I like it. Can see it. My big flaw was that at the gun shop in the beginning of the movie, he clearly slides the gun back over to her on the glass, and then when she picks up the gun, it's in a sleeve.
Ooh.
It's in a holster.
Wow.
It's in a
That's
little thing
interesting.
because she closes it with the thing and she walks out with it. But it was not on there. You never saw that before.
He's totally kind of hitting on her too. It's really
Mhm.
creepy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do we got next? LVP, MVP, and then we're on our way out.
Title? Well, we don't do that anymore. Okay, never mind.
We did alternate title already, didn't we? Oh, I guess we did. I think I skipped it. What's your alternate title?
Paper Cloak. Paper Cloak.
It's not paper. It's invisible. Impenetrable.
What did she say? I thought she said Paper Cloak.
No, she said it's impenetrable cloak.
Oh, well. All right, we don't need to do this category. Let's just move on. LVP, MVP.
I wrote down 2 Days in the Valley because that was a movie in the 90s, and this could easily have been called the same thing.
That's fair. That is fair.
I said
I didn't have
Traffic.
anything for it, which is why I forgot to mention
Traffic.
it. Traffic, yeah.
Did you guys
I don't think Crash
Traffic?
is really a good title for this. I mean, there had to have been something better that they could have come up with. than
Accident.
Crash.
Is it? Could worst scene be Matt or Don Cheadle's monologue to start the movie?
Mm.
Is that the worst scene of the movie?
He was in a glass case of emotion.
He was in a glass case.
Yeah,
Glass
metal and
case
glass.
of dazed. He was dazed
Yeah.
and confused in the valley. LVP, MVP. I'll go first. My LVP is Socks on Stairs. Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it. What are we doing here? What are you doing? My MVP is Bird York because we haven't mentioned it yet, but the song is way better than it needs to be. Like you listen, like it's why is that song so good? It shouldn't be that good, but it's just a great song. It just puts you at peace. It's a good song.
I mean, it's a great montage. I mean, because that is one of the great parts of the movie too. Because like every bit of that montage when the song is playing, you get the emotion still now that you did when you first watched it. Because I mean it is probably a lot of the song. Now, if it was made now, it'd be a Diane Warren song. It wouldn't work. It would be way over the top.
It wouldn't win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be nominated though.
Almost won, but it's hard out here for a pimp.
Well, it was Dolly Parton who also had a really great song that year too.
Traveling Through.
That was a tough 3. There was
Adam, LVP, MVP.
LVP, MVP is casting. The casting is there's a lot of big people in this for this film, for this project,
And it works. It's not distracting. You get some big all-star casts, and it's like distracting. How
they're like completely different movies and stuff. They always want to overshadow each other and stuff like that too. So this one doesn't really get that.
It's an ensemble that works.
Yeah, LVP. I think the aging of this movie, the hate that maybe it gets to, because it did for that time period. It's definitely a time period movie. So I think the kind of hating on something because of what you think of it now, instead of like what you also think about the time period. I think there's something to say about that. So I think that's the LVP conversation. So about it. But this actually turned out to be a better deep dive than I actually thought it was. So there's that.
And we make any deep dive fun. We deep dive in some depressing movies, and we still make it. We still find the laughs.
We deep dove Requiem for a Dream, man.
And leaving Las Vegas.
Leaving Las Vegas.
We definitely won't find a boring conversation on our podcast. That's damn sure.
Mm-hmm. There's the quote that goes on our poster right there. Won't find a boring conversation on our podcast.
My LVP is gun shops who sell people guns who can't tell the difference between live ammo and blanks. People probably shouldn't be able to buy the gun. And my MVP is Hughes Winborn. That's a great name, number one. He's also the editor, the Oscar-winning editor from this movie. And one thing I will say about watching this is the editing is so put together so interestingly. Good. Like there'll be a door that closes and another door will open to start the next scene. Like I don't remember how this ever played on TV, but because it would be so jarring to like start a scene that way, but like it flows through all these different stories better than even a movie like Pulp Fiction or something. Like it makes it all seem like it is one in one motion. So Hughes Winborn MVP. I don't know what else he did after this, but
well, let's just bring it all full circle because after this, one of the things he did was James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy. So we'll just bring it all back around and bring it full circle. All right,
one of those just goes round and round.
All right, let's wrap it up.